Hello.
Oh,
Looking spiffy. You got your drink too? I got.
yeah, I got it.
I'm so happy you coming on the Black Girl Tired whatever. I'm so happy.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. So we're gonna get right into it because you got a plethora of stuff I need answers for. Cause I I've been
Starting where? Where we starting at?
first we're gonna let you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, and everything else, and then we're gonna get into my questions.
Okay. My name is Ebony Bowser, or E. Bowser is my pen name, and I write paranormal romance, fantasy, horror, and now urban erotica. So that's new. I started writing in 2015, and that's when I published my first book. And that was Deadly Secrets Brothers That Bite Awaken, book one. And it just snowballed from there.
Okay, okay. Now, now, I found you with Brothers That Bite.
Right. I remember.
Oh my God. I have never read so many books in my life on a series. Because usually I do not read series, but
Hmm.
that series just kept me like, okay, I got to read the next book and the next book and the novella and this and that and this and that. So it was just, yeah. What made you come up with Brothers That Bite? What was the thing that just hit you like I need to write this book?
So, like, when I started writing it, this was when, like, Twilight was, like, the crazy, like, it just, like, popped off or whatever.
Right.
And we was like, man, we need some black vampires. Like, I want to read, like, more characters that look like me, in genres like that. And you didn't really have a lot of options. Yes, there were authors out there that wrote uh, Black paranormal, like
Mm-hmm.
L.A. Banks, and then you had Octavia Butler. Like you had those authors, but it was like you didn't see much. And of course, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't see much on TV
Right.
in those genres. So, and like I've always been a paranormal horror girl. So I was like, I can write it.
And
And
that
that's
you
how I
did.
started. And that's how I started.
So you have a lot of paranormal romance, and you even have the horror with the Dreamwalkers. I haven't even started on that yet.
Girl,
I
it's
I
not the typical, it's not the typical zombie, I should say, zombie books. It's in its own lane, I'll say. Like it's different.
do you consider your work to be urban paranormal romance or just paranormal romance or both?
I consider it to be just paranormal romance, or African American paranormal romance, or Black paranormal romance. It definitely doesn't have like that urban element unless you're talking about Forest City.
Mm,
It doesn't have that like I guess rough urban feel that you would get from like my Product of the Street series.
you're
It's
right.
written totally different. It's not the same. Yeah.
So with the Brothers of Bite series, you introduced a lot of side characters. But at the same time, with those side characters, you introduced them in their novellas. And so their stories were being told. What made you write in that type of perspective? Because you have the POV perspective, but you also have a story within the story. So
Hmm.
what was your thought process about writing like that?
So when I wrote book one, actually book one and book two was supposed to be one book.
Hmm.
And it was so long that
Right.
I split it apart. And after I wrote book two, I was like, nobody's interested in this. And I wasn't really like into it like that. And I wasn't taking it as serious as I wanted it to.
Hmm.
And and then I got a message from a reader and they're like, "When are you writing book three?" Because I'm like hooked on this series, and I wanted to. I've never seen Black Paranormal, and like I really need you to write book three. And I was just like, "What? Really? Somebody
Yes.
really likes this, right?
Yes.
Like, there's really people out there that like.
Yes.
Okay, hey Blossom," and so that's when I was like, okay, but let me write book three. And then I'm like, okay, so I really need to come up with a major plot line instead of with just those four characters because I like to read series.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't write something that I'm not going to want to read myself, if that makes sense.
That does.
So I'm like, I need something with some plot within a plot within a plot within a plot that it'll never be boring
Mm-hmm.
and it can go on as long as I want it to go on because
Well,
there's always something.
with you adding all these characters, I don't know. It's just the way you wrote it. It's just like no matter how many characters you put in the book, it comes together so
It
well.
makes sense, right?
It does. And then when you read the novellas, you're like, aha. So it's just
hmm
like I had a couple of aha moments dealing with the werewolf pack and who had
hmm
powers and who was doing what. And it was like, I knew it. I knew it. But it all
Yep.
made sense as you went along with the series. And I'm glad you told me read it in order
hmm
because I would have been
Definitely,
so out of the
you
loop.
you definitely have to read it in order. I mean, like you could, if you start at one book, you're gonna want to go back to figure out how it all started.
Mm. So
And it's just a better experience reading it in the correct order.
So is that why you did the Brothers That Bite? What was the other one? The Crown series,
Yeah.
uh, the Rain Pack, the
Mhm.
novellas in between, and now we're here
Mhm.
at the Shades of Passion. So let's talk about the Shades of Passion. Cause my baby Damon, my baby got his redemption arc. I'm just saying, cause I
That boy is crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy.
he is crazy as hell, but he's so real though. He
He's
is so
real with it, definitely. Like he basically got his redemption in Crown Book 3. Like you finally figure out what happened to make him do all of these things from book 1 in Brothers
right,
That Bite.
right,
Like, how could you turn on your brother? Why
right.
would you try to kill Taria? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? And at the end of book 3, you're like, oh my God, are you serious? So when Shades of Passion come around, now it's just like, Damon is entrenched in this family, in this world, and now he has to navigate through all the stuff that he's done
Mm-hmm.
while also figuring out himself because for
Mm-hmm.
most of his life he was possessed.
Exactly, exactly. I
So,
gotcha. Yeah,
hey Tasha, hey
I
Valerie.
literally was like when I read Shades of Passion because how the last book left off, I was just like, okay, what's gonna happen? So when Shades of Passion came out, I was so pleasantly happy about his love interest, his everything, and not to mention Shayna and Tyson. Oh my god! Oh my
Yeah,
god!
Shani and
How
Tyson.
how did that come about? How
You know,
that was
so
kind
Shani has been in there since Brothers That Bite.
of right,
And she was like really obscure. Like nobody knew about her. It was like little snippets here and there with her in there, but she was always a part of the family.
right.
And it was just like, Shani's getting older now.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't just be the babysitter,
Right.
forever. Like, so what is her, what I guess I can say, what's her life like? what is she going to be bringing to this fight?
Well,
And
how
she brought
how
it.
how like you gave her like all these powers the the son, Mike's son, the one who can see the future or get possessed by the ghosts and stuff. Like, I think you froze. And what am I sipping?
I think I froze.
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Okay.
This is what I'm sipping. If you There you go. But how you brought you brought so many characters together and it made sense because Mike's son, the one who gets possessed by the dead, or
Garrett,
Garrett, and then you have him helping Shayna. I mean, what's her name?
Shauna. Mm-hmm.
Shani, helping her through everything that's going on. And here's this little man just like, nah, I got you. I got you. This is what you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to, and I just love it because in the beginning of the series, I was kind of mad at was it Taurus?
Toya, it's a rare.
Yeah, I was kind of mad. You know what I'm
So
saying?
when I wrote it, it's like I wanted to show the progression of them growing into who they are
Right.
because they start out as basically naive college students. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they didn't have no like real world experience. You know, they just I'm going to college, I'm gonna get my degree, you know, I
Right.
basically was sheltered my whole life and it's like so I wanted to show their naivety and their childishness so you
Mm,
can see them grow in each book.
that is
So each book that you read, you see them, okay, they was getting on my nerves, but they doing the daggone thing. Even though Toya and Damon is
mm.
ridiculous.
They're sibling because it's basically like sibling rivalry with them,
Yes, it is to the
and
fullest.
they are just completely hilarious in this book, talking about each other.
It don't make no sense.
I literally was laughing anytime those two even came in contact with each other. I was laughing, and I love how you put humor in the book in serious situations. It was humor in there as well.
Hmm.
So, with that being said, how is it that you were able to do these love scenes, these sex scenes? Because, oh my God. Huh?
So full disclosure, I can't stand writing sex scenes. I can't stand it.
Are you serious? Because, ma'am, Miss Ma'am,
Mm-mm.
them scenes are,
I can't. I really cannot. I cannot stand it. But I don't know. If I'm being honest, I just let my characters talk. So they telling me what they want to do. And I'm just like, all right, let me just be a fly on this wall. And sometimes I'd be like, dang, okay, Tyson. I ain't know, heal, child. Like he was like, heal.
Slicing. Because, in the beginning, Mike was that guy. He was that guy in those sex scenes. Because I was just like, God damn. But Tyson, yeah,
He
yeah.
definitely was. And I mean, and Quinn really he started acting out too. He started acting out in Twice Mark.
But see, I think that alpha in him just finally just said, you know what? Stop
He
playing
had
with
to,
me.
he had to yoke little Toya up because he's like, listen, you need to calm your little ass down, basically.
Pretty much, pretty much. And speaking of yoking somebody up, let's go to Product of the Street. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I don't even know where to start with that. All I'm gonna say, okay, Product of the Street is, even though it's a urban romance type book,
Hmm.
it has a suspense thriller element to it. and you give each character their time.
Right.
And the first book was more so about Henny
Mm.
and
The
Oz,
first
but
book was, yeah, it was more so about Oz.
I don't think I thought it was more about Henny, and then the second book
It
was more
was
about Oz.
it was a little more about Oz in the first book because it was him and Dia. Like a lot of stuff happened with him and Dia that
Mm,
kind of like um took more time to go through than
right, right.
Tally and Henny. So in the second book, the romantic side, or whatever his romantic side is, kind of took the place of Dia and Oz and focused more on Tally and Henny
Uh
with
huh.
Trey and
Right.
Ja and all that to give them more of a focus, like more of a focus point. Like, okay, now you can see how their relationship progressed. Because we already knew what was going on with Oz and Dia from book one.
I was waiting. I was waiting because the way you left me on book one just stole my heart. I was like, oh my God. No, this is not the end of the book. This is not the end of the book. So as
Yeah,
soon
that
as
was.
you said it was pre-order, I was like, "Yep, let
Mm,
me get that real quick." And I said this before when the book came out. I was in the midst of reviewing other books and arcs. I literally put them to the side for a week because I needed to marinate on your book. I needed to take
girl,
it all in because the second book was so much, and it was just like, wow.
it was a lot. It was definitely a lot going on, and since it's a lot of characters, but
Yeah,
I try to focus on as a main character like two at a time, so it's not so overwhelming.
right,
But I also want you to be able to see other characters' personalities. Like with book two, you got to see a little bit more of Chantel and like, you
Crescent.
know, yeah, Crescent and what she got going on. You got to see what a little bit going on with Fax.
Let me look.
And
Okay, we facts. Who? Facts. That mango scene. You know you wrong for that mango scene. I read that shit like 5 times. Like I just know she didn't do this to us. That mango scene was just
um,
what?
and all he was doing was eating the mango. That's all he was doing.
Nah, ma'am. Nah, ma'am. We are not about to go and say this man was just eat the
He
the
was
the, the descriptive way you wrote that.
listen.
Even your characters was like, this is porn. You're watching porn.
Yeah, Sally was like, "Yo, this is porn. This ain't nothing but porn. Cause ain't no way, ain't no way." Definitely like, and the thing is, I don't even like mangoes. I don't
See,
even like mangoes. So
I do now.
I had to go get a mango and be like, all right, so if somebody's gonna eat this mango, what is it gonna taste like? What is it, how it's gonna feel when you biting into it? Like, so I had to go and get one and try it. And then I was just like,
But you put facts and link doing the same damn thing at the same damn time. While these women over there about to lose their ever loving mind,
and then he had the nerve to stare at Crescent the whole time
I
while
would
he
have
did.
died. I would have died right there. Passed out, fainted, everything else. Because that was too much. that was too much. Because the way you wrote it, I was like, if I was in her shoes, the way I would have wanted the world to swallow me up at that moment.
God, listen, I reread it a couple times too because I said, man, something wrong with me. Like, why I write this? Why did I
Also,
write this daggone mango?
the 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 kind of arc, overall arc of us, his brother and his mother and his father and all these
Hmm.
bits and pieces starting to come into play and come together.
Right.
That was crazy. How did you? How did you? How was that writing that? Because there was a lot of pieces coming
Moving
together.
pieces.
So
Yeah.
how did you feel writing that, or how did that come about that you were able to get it all to connect?
Um, so when I wrote the first book, I already knew what I wanted to happen in the second
Mm-hmm.
book. So I already knew the pieces that needed to fit into place. So I made sure when I wrote the first book that when I wrote the second one, when you're asking that question, it just slides into place. Like you
Mm.
get that answer and you're like, oh, okay. And you're like, oh, I thought that, but I wasn't so sure about that.
Right.
So when I was writing it, I just basically used, from how I wrote Deadly Secrets, because it's a ton of secrets in there that slides into place
Yes. Yes.
and books down the line, and you like, oh my God, that happened in book one, and that's why that happened. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of easy for me to write it like that,
Mm-hmm.
because I always know basically what is going to be told, like what truths are going to be coming out.
Did you intend for it to be like almost a suspense thriller?
I did, because I need to be able to read it
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the type of books I like. If I'm not reading like high fantasy or paranormal, I need to be reading like suspense or thriller or something like that. I need some type of action, a little bit of craziness mixed in. Like, I
That was gonna
need
be
that.
my
So
next
if
question.
I would have just wrote a regular, I wouldn't have been able to write a regular urban fiction book.
Mm.
It just, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
But how
I
did
would
you
have got
make
bored.
it? How did you make Oz and Facts, hell, Henny, because his crazy came out in book two, hardcore. But how did you make them as though they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, psychopaths, whatever path you want to call it, they them. But how did you make it so they're humanized by the love they have for these women? How was that? How did that come
Um, because I made people see the love that they had for each other.
about? Mm.
Like they had that bromance type, I'm a ride for this person going on, period.
Mm-hmm.
This is my brother, this is my family. So once they find that one, you can see it being extended over to that love interest, even though
Mm.
they crazy.
As hell. As hell. As the whole time I was reading book one and book two, I was like, these Negroes is out of their goddamn minds. While they talk that one line when she was like, I think we need to go to counseling, baby. I don't think counseling is enough. I don't even think it's enough for you, honey.
I think our reason for going to counseling is more to understand how he thinks,
Mm,
because they're not crazy, even though they kind of like pull them into their like crazy world. They don't have that diagnosis.
mm,
And when you're listening to inside Henny's thoughts, and he's listening to Tally talk, he's like, I don't have those type of problems, because he doesn't care about anybody else.
right.
And he's just like, but for you, I'll make this exception. So it's like, yeah, we do need to go to therapy so I can understand how you think.
Mm. Well, I think Facts is crazy.
Oh,
Loon.
Fax is long gone, because he's the only one diagnosed,
He
mind
is
you.
loony.
He's the only one that is diagnosed crazy.
Like something is clearly done missed a couple apples in the bunch somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And so like they basically um not cancel out, but they basically watch each other.
Mm,
Like if they see one going down the path, they like, oh, hold on now, I'm a ride with you, but we can't fall off the chain, because we gotta still uphold our image in society. So that brings into play Link's parents, giving them that normal stability.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that, and it amazed
Yeah,
me.
Cece too. She correct. Yeah, poor
Yeah,
Cece. She got
yeah.
that from her daddy.
Uh, uh, I saw links the part where you kind of had the father have to lay down that gauntlet, like you gonna respect me because I'm your damn father, or I'm kicking
Hmm.
your ass type deal.
Right.
I raised you better than that. And so that right there, usually when you read urban fiction, a lot of people
Hmm.
outside of urban fiction or urban romance think it's a stereotype of what they think black people are supposed to act.
Hmm.
Instead of reading it and seeing these are normal things where people actually have a
Right.
mother and father at home sometimes.
Right. At home. Right.
You know, people actually respect their communities because I love how you
Hmm.
incorporated how they love their community and they wanted to build it up. Now I ain't
Right.
saying they wasn't doing criminal activities, but they
Oh,
were
yeah.
about their community. They were about rebuilding it, getting jobs and stuff like that in the community, which was a
Right.
amazing thing. So with your book, you kind of just shut down that stereotype. You can have urban fiction and urban romance, but you don't have to feed into those stereotypes.
You don't have to feed into the stereotype of it. And that was like almost my driving force when I was writing the first book,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I can't do the typical stereotypical type thing. Like I don't want, my character to have a child or whatever and she's a single mother with a BS baby daddy, or just like the same usual, like, no, let them go to school, let them do this. Like, it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with that, but
Right,
I didn't want my book being compared to somebody else's.
right, right, right,
And I'm like, you know, if they gonna be doing this gang activity, then they need to be putting back into their community. They
right.
need to be making sure these people going to school, like, and you see that. Um,
Yeah, and that
Especially with Oz is like, yeah, how you doing, how your sister doing? Like,
right.
you taking them classes? Like, they checking up on you. And
Just
it's
Kitty being
like,
a doctor, Oz being a businessman, uh, Fax having his security firm, links
hmm,
into technology. Those are things that you usually don't see common in urban fiction. And then the fact that they're pouring all that energy into their community, but at the same
right,
time handling their business.
exactly. So like to them is, it gives them an outlet, because
Hmm.
like we said, we've established they are crazy. And like in book two, you can see that they have these urges to do, to unalive somebody.
Yeah.
And it helps them when they're doing this other stuff too. So if they're pouring energy into building up the community while at the same time making this city theirs,
Mm-hmm.
legally and illegally,
Mm-hmm.
it just helps push off some of that aggression that they got. But when stuff go down, they handle their business. That's just like, with Link and his, he got the casino and he deals with the technology
Right.
and stuff for the crew. Then you got Fax with the security firm and he does other stuff,
Right.
that involves the crew, legally and illegally. And then Oz owns every goddamn thing in the freaking world, basically, in Union City.
Man.
And then you got Henny, like you say, he's a doctor, while also making sure it's grants and stuff at
Hmm.
the hospital for
I
people to take
love that
advantage of.
so much. I love that so much that
Hmm.
the board was them at the hospital. The board
Right.
was them. They took care of the people who needed to be taken care of in the hospital. You can't afford your bill. We got a grant for that.
We got a
You
grant for
know,
that. You can't get this grant, or you still need help. We got big pharma on the black market, and we'll get you
exactly.
over there. We'll get you
The,
over there.
the
Like,
women's clinic stuff that
hmm,
those type of things. I love that in the book. I love that in the book. And don't get me wrong, I know that I'm probably gonna have to talk to my therapist about all the violence that I like in this book because I was like, go get their ass, chop them up. I was egging them on. Common
Like,
sister left
don't
my
even
ass.
ask me where that came from. I don't know. It seemed like it fit. Like, cause right in the first book, I was like, man, is this too far? Oh well, cause
No,
they crazy. I
no.
was like,
The butcher shop and all this stuff, everything aligned with their personalities.
it did, yeah.
Everything aligned with their personalities from them giving back to the torture they was doing.
Right, yeah, and the clinic got blown up by facts. I mean, they said
Exactly.
they shouldn't have said nothing about Crescent. That
Now that insta love is a motherfucker with these three crazy somethings because they're I don't even know if you could call it insta love. I just they claim they knew, and I say this all the time. A man knows what he wants when he sees
know
what
what
he
he want
wants.
when he see it. Yep.
So the when facts was like, oh no, Crescent is mine. No matter how much she
Hmm.
says that she mine, not mine, she mine. And if you come
Hmm.
to the left, I'm gonna kill you.
And he ain't got no problem with letting nobody know either.
Exactly.
Nobody, even her. Like, girl, bye, whatever.
Every no was like a yes to him. I was like, Lord have mercy, Lord. So I said,
Like, I'll be
somebody
there
take
to
the
pick you
wheel.
up. Right, like I'll be there to pick you up. Hmm. Let me put this car in the shop.
Now, I'm not saying in real life I want that because I might have to, put you 6 feet under fucking with me like that.
Mhm.
But in the book, it is perfect. They are the crazy and all. They
Look,
are
they
perfect.
the perfect
They the
man in that book.
they the perfect
Child.
balance. They the person perfect balance of crazy, smart, and loving, but
Right,
not
because
for
they'll sit down and have a whole conversation with you, like, tell me what's going on, what's wrong with you? Let's figure this out. And that was one thing that I definitely wanted in this series. I don't like all that breaking up, getting back
yeah,
together,
yeah,
missing for a year. Like even when I did the 6 years, that's why I made sure that Oz and Dia stayed in contact with each other.
right, right.
Um, as a friends, which in all actuality, that was Oz's manipulation tactic because come on now.
Oz was something else. Oz was something else. That man was
He
a
was like, oh
planner.
yeah, I'm gonna be your friend. Found out everything. Everything.
Oz planned before a plan for a plan for a plan. He got a backup to a backup to a backup
He did. While taking out her exes at that.
every time. Now let's talk about Dia's ex, the doctor.
Oh, Tally's ex?
I mean, Tally's ex, the doctor.
Girl,
If
Trey.
that, if
Mm.
that, if the word bitch ass nigga didn't come out my mouth multiple times, the way I said it, like multiple times, reading this book,
I'm gonna be honest. I was saying it too while I was writing. I was like, he's a bitch ass. He's a bitch ass nigga. Like, oh, he
I
get on my nerves.
I said it so much. I was like, let me put down this book before I get mad at somebody in this house and they ain't did nothing to me. Because I
Yes,
was
he
like,
was. He was. Oh, he was. And he was so arrogant.
very. But you know what? I like that you put that in there because there are not all. So if any men are on here, not
Right.
saying all, but there are men who are college educated men that have this
Hmm.
air of superiority about them
Hmm.
that says, because I am this, you must fall in line because of this. And if
Because of
you
that. Right.
and if you don't, you're just a peasant to me anyway. But I want you
Hmm.
though.
Right. And that's how he acted. And it was just like he wanted her,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like, oh, she like doing this kind of stuff. What kind of, wife would she make? So like you want to put somebody else down because you like doing this stuff. But you don't want people knowing that's the type of stuff that you want, so you want to make her feel bad about it. And it
Right.
was just like, and like she did say, she was like, nah, he is a great doctor. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would want him, if I was sick. Like he's really good, but it's just his personality is
Right.
trash.
It was. It was absolutely trash. But the best part about that whole situation was Sanchez and Henny and the whole room shit. When he told her to gag on it,
Yeah, he
I was like, yes, bitch, yes, yes, gag.
did. He had to look at that man like that. Like, yeah, gag for me. Gag
Like
for me.
I was in there like, and that's how you clear room. That's how you do the shit. That because the way I had it envisioned in my head, like this doctor probably looked like his whole soul was snatched from him when he
Was
looked over at
crushed.
them.
Yeah,
I
he was crushed seeing that. Like,
woo!
really?
But Henny told him stay away from her. He
I
told
mean, he told him, like, listen, yeah, she gave him that guac guac, and he was just like,
him.
sensational.
Exactly. That part. Yes. Because when I read it and you said and that word said sensational, all I could think of was that one guy on here on
Yeah,
TikTok. I was like,
yeah,
yes, Lord, yes,
just
yes,
like that, sensational child. Like, oh, he was hot. Trey was hot. Like, and you gonna be petty, and he was that petty man
yes.
that went to the board. Like, oh, this and this and that. Like, you couldn't just take your L. You
But
couldn't take your L.
it's his face when he saw that the board was them.
Yeah.
It's that right there is the most glorious scene of Get Back that I've ever read. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get my leg back. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Right, basically. And then, I mean, you got the whole family in there. Then you got the aunt in there, and she keep getting shut down because he like, you can't say nothing about nothing because you over there sleeping with the chef. Yeah, we
Speaking,
know.
speaking of family, her cousins.
Oh,
These
Yasmin and
dirty,
Catrice.
these dirty tricks. I, I it made me wanted to call my own cousins and say, I wish you niggas would. Like, I
I
wish you
think that
would.
was that was the final. I think that was the final straw for Tally, like to tip over, because Dia was
Mhm.
already there. Dia was already like, yo, let me get a cleaver.
Right,
Like
right.
she was already there. Tally, that little at that end part tipped her over. Hearing her say that stuff about her mother, and she was just like, okay, okay,
I would have been right along with her. Like, cut this bitch up.
yeah,
Cut up.
sister cousin, her sister cousin.
Right. Right.
Because I mean, and you heard Henny, he was just like, I unalive her right now. Like that's
The
what you want me to do?
the way he said that shit with a straight face. The way he said that with a straight face, like, what you want me to do? Have some emotion about this shit? It is what it is.
Basically. Basically. He was dead serious too. Like if she take her hands off them keyboards, I cut them both off.
And
Like
but they
in
pulled the
front of her.
crazy out of them too. They
They
pulled
did.
they pulled that because they was at their wits end towards the end of it. Like, okay, fuck this shit. We just finna fuck everybody up.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, Chantel.
woo,
Listen, listen. First of all, we already know Chantel got some skills going on from the prologue.
mm,
Right. Yeah, she had that open heart surgery. Good old
yeah,
Yasmin had
yeah,
that open heart. But yeah, from the prologue with Chantel, you see how ruthless she can be.
mm-hmm.
Like, so you got the UCK women or the UCQ, Union City Queens or whatever, and they
I,
just as crazy.
okay, since you brought that up, are we gonna get a Union City Queens book? Serious?
I don't know that's something to actually think about. That is something to think about.
Because you
But
brought
you,
in some badass females,
Yeah.
and I think they deserve some crazy ass Negroes.
Listen, it's gonna be some crazy. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be some crazy. They gonna have to do some crazy things because now you got Chantel and Mala. People don't really know too much about Mala, but you kind of getting, the feel for it. Um,
I'm gonna lean towards. I don't know what's going on with her and Link, but I feel like it's gonna be some smoke in the city with their ass.
Listen, when I tell you that whole city gonna be on fire, messing with them, listen.
Okay now, okay now.
Cause you seen in book two, you seen a little bit of Link's craziness, like, cause people be sleeping on Link, cause he be kind of quiet and in the
Yes,
background,
except for that mango scene. That
except for
mango
that.
scene.
Listen, mm-hmm.
That
And
mango scene.
freaking Crescent ass talk about she keep bringing up the daggone Black Wolf, and even did say something about the Black Wolf, and everybody like, the hell you know about? What you know about the Black Wolf?
Okay, okay. The Black Wolf. I'm trying to figure out because I don't want to say it's one person and then it's not that person.
Who you think it is?
I
I
think
actually
it's
said it in my group. I said it in my group, but who you think it is?
Link.
It's him.
Woo, Lord! Not him taking her virginity. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So now that I know that, I just know book three about to be off the
I
fucking
don't, I
chain.
don't think people are gonna be ready for book three. I really don't because you got Facts and Link coming up. And we already seen how crazy Facts is. So you already know he blowing up buildings, all kinds of stuff. But I don't think y'all ready for his foolishness.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because Link, I mean, Fast be blowing up shit for no fucking reason. He got the shortest temper I ever seen in individual. He just he blow up shit just because you put it wrong. That's the type of motherfucker
Cause
he
he
is.
stay threatening them like, yo, I told you keep cussing name out your mouth. Like I will shoot you in the face. Like I will take you out right now. And they just be and Henny is so petty.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
he is so petty. And the fact that he got these people at the hospital thinking that Crescent is his wife.
Girl, why he sucking lips with Tyler? Girl.
Well, talk about yeah, my work wife or whatever. Like
And Fast cannot stand it. He can't
he can't.
stand it. Now, speaking of the conference room scene,
Mm,
the
mm,
conference
mm,
room
mm,
scene.
mm.
Oh, oh, everybody was getting it. Oh my god. Eh, what?
Listen.
How did you come? How did you come up with that shit? Because I'm like, I know this man is not about to do what he about to do in front of everybody and say fuck the dumb shit.
Look, first the setup was the fact that Henny Petty and said something about Trey or whatever about Trey or
Lord.
what Crescent said. They had the nerve to be hugging on her and stuff. So you know his temper already on 10. And he looking at this like, all right, y'all just keep playing with me. And then here you go, got Crescent saying some wild stuff because you know she gonna run her mouth anyway.
Mm, mm, mm.
And he's just like, okay, I
But
bet.
how did you? And then I'm gonna say this: the way you made the women that can stand on their own, they didn't
Hmm.
need a man to make them better. That was just a plus. They was already
Right.
standing on
They
their
was
own 2 feet.
already Exactly. And that I think that's part of Crescent's problem too, because she's like, yeah, I might be a tech or whatever, but I'm doing the daggone thing.
Right, right,
And
right.
I don't need your help. I didn't ask for it. You just throwing it in my face and I don't need it, basically. Like not
Hmm.
trying to be, that independent type woman, but just basically saying, I don't need this from you. Because facts did say that they have conversations all the time. They're always talking. And then you got Cece like, yeah, I can't wait to meet your girlfriend, da 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 da. And it's
That
just
little
like,
smart mouth heifer.
ah,
That child that child been here before. That smart mouth. I was like, who little demon is this?
his girl.
Baby, crazy as hell.
So it's just like, I'm trying to show you I don't need this from you, even though you got it, because they all got money. Like
Right.
they rolling in it now. After 6 years of the
Yeah.
setup, they rolling in it. So it's just like Crescent knows the game.
She said, tread lightly with my niece, Miss Mama. Look, your
You see,
niece is
wow, girl,
crazy. Your niece is crazy. She got an
listen,
imaginary friend and talking about hurting motherfucker. No, she crazy. That's a child that's
listen.
red rum. Red rum.
What?
Red rum. That's all I'm gonna
She
say.
put that baby in the oven. You hear me? She said, "Mm-mm, you ain't gonna talk about my pappy. Mm-mm,
Red
no,
rum. That's that
no."
child.
I mean, Fax is on top of it. He said, okay, mental note, I need to make this appointment. Let me.
But he the one to talk. He blowing up people because they done said something, and he done blew up the whole fucking building. He ain't blow up them. He blew up the whole building with them.
The whole building. He took that building out. He wasn't even play. He wasn't playing. He took that building out, child. Like, oh no. That's why they turned around like, dang.
Cause she Red Rum Junior and he Red Rum Senior.
Listen, crazy, crazy. So yeah, they could all stand on their own 2 feet. They don't need them, but like you said, it was just a bonus. It was a plus. And it was just like, okay, we're just gonna make it better. And
Do Do you
that's what's
think that
happening.
your characters, like your characters in Product of the Streets and your characters in Brother Bite, you kind of their personalities are kind of the same, almost on the same wavelength. Except
Um,
from a paranormal aspect, if you take the paranormal aspect out of it, they kind of Mike and Quinn, and then Henny, Fax, Link, and uh, Oz are kind of they had that alpha
I
strong.
think if I took the paranormal element out of it, they all would have been friends
Mm,
because they all crazy basically. Like if we looking at Deadly Secrets, like Mike is real chill and laid back until he's not,
exactly, exactly.
and then it's like with the paranormal aspect, you expect them to like go on a killing spree or whatever, and unalive stuff all over the place. Like you
Hmm.
expect that. But in Product of the Street, you don't. You don't expect them just to, and it ain't just some like wild shootout type thing in Product of the Street. Like, yeah, it happens,
Hmm.
but they're more methodical
Right,
with it. Like, oh no, no, I'm gonna get you.
right.
And like with Henny is like, nah, I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna put you on my table. Or with Eyes, I'm taking you to the butcher shop.
That
So
motherfucker.
now it's what do facts do? What do Link do? Where are they taking you?
I'm scared. I'm
Cause
scared.
you already heard how Link did Hayes
I'm scared.
before they picked Hayes up.
I honestly, I believe that Fax and Link are going to be the most vicious of the, because Oz is vicious, but he it's just Oz, and Henny,
Hmm.
his personality is I just don't give a fuck. I don't care.
He really don't. He really don't. And anytime he kill, it's about the money at the end of the day.
Unless you fucking
Like
on his boat.
I'm gonna make some type of money off of you unless you really took it there with him to where he like,
Mm-mm.
I don't care what happened. Right, drowning and strangulation.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Black Bay, the Black Bay baby, like
but I got okay. So with book three, I really want to just tell me all of it, but I know you can't. Cause like I just want to let you know I'm so invested in this damn series that I will shut down my household. Don't talk to me. Don't fucking call me. Don't fucking talk to me for at least a good 6 hours. If you try and talk to me, you gonna get these hands. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to read
girl,
this book because
because they wow, they
it's
are they,
really good. And then you
and
also made you
like you
also
said, it's a lot of moving pieces. So it's
it
like you
is.
really got to pay attention. You really have to pay attention.
And you also made the women normal size.
Hmm.
You did not make them hungry. You did not try to play on that whole they gonna look like a video vixen type female. You made them
Nope.
somebody that I can say, oh, I relate to her.
Yeah. Oh, I seen her before.
Right. And I love that. I love that for me. Because I mean I could pull one of these Negroes. But I love that. I really love that. That you um made the women either they were like BBWs or they were average size.
Hmm.
And you also put in the hairstyles that wasn't, you know, they had braids, they had, stuff like that.
Locks or just
Yeah,
like bobs.
because a
Just
bitch got locks, and I like seeing other bitches in books with locks. So
hmm
I relate to that, and yeah, it's very realistic. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And then you made Henny
because I
so
wanted to
dark
be
skinned.
yes, them chocolate ones, child. Like
Woo!
I
With a
wanted
grill, with a
girl,
grill. Do you know
mm.
with a grill? With a grill.
Girl, yes. Child, listen. You can't front when you see something like that, especially like
Woo,
flashing in the dark on
woo.
some just chocolate, just
The way grills will make your panties drop so fast when they look good. Mm, mm, mm. And then you made them tall and thick. Lord
like
bless your heart.
I wanted just like all shades, like because I didn't want to just be just these light skins or dark
Right.
skins. Like I wanted them brown skin, light skin, caramel,
You
chocolate,
made.
like
And his facts
a
Afro
variety.
Latino
He
is
is.
so
He
that
is.
because that hair and then Sanchez, my God, got
Ah,
me over
soda
here wanting
can,
to
baby.
call on the Lord.
That's
Woo!
soda can, girl. Listen.
Damn. The,
So Sage, that's my heart right there. Like I love me some Sage ass
how many books in this
because
series? Because you introduced a lot of characters.
it's gonna be at least 5 books. But my books run at like 300, almost 400 pages. So
You can't tell when you're reading.
I know
I literally
I
went through
know.
that book so fast, and I was mad. I was mad because there was no reason for me to stop except for the mango scene. But it wasn't no reason for me to stop, like really, because
Hey Shannon.
hey girl, it's no reason for me to stop because the book was really good and it wasn't no pause moments. Like I said, except for the mango because I had to collect myself. Um, because you had a sister over here like, ooh, what that mouth do? What that mouth
Right.
do? But
Yes. And that song went so perfectly with that part, like what that mouth do. Have you heard? You know what I'm talking about.
yes, yes,
Girl,
because I was like,
listen.
I'm gonna go ahead and hey, you eat a mango for
Right,
me. Let me.
Tacola. I don't even like mangoes. Right, but child, I watch you eat it
Ladies,
all
that's
day.
gonna be the test. You make them eat a mango.
Make them eat a mango and see what it do.
What that mouth do?
See what it do all summer long.
Just
See
saying.
what it do. I'm just
So
saying. And then you got Fax's brother that just came back.
okay, what's the deal? What is it? You got Sanchez, Fax's brother, um, and then I can't even say the other part because I don't. People in here haven't read it, so I don't want to say about Oz, but that part, him downstairs. Where the hell? Where all that shit come from? Like, damn.
Yeah, so I don't know. They actually always been a part of the series in my head. Like I already know that these people are there. I
Mm.
didn't think Sanchez was gonna be like people was gonna like Sanchez like that. Like they was on Sanchez blind and all, like Crescent said, with his blind ass.
With
Like
his over here with pop cans and penises and shit. Like, nigga, you
listen.
big.
Right, and Creed coming home soon. So like it's definitely gonna be 5 books in the series. And I did say it was supposed to be in novellas. I just have to see how it plays out. But
Mm.
yeah, that and then you had I forgot all about that with Nia and Damari and Sam. That little snippet.
Okay, and then ah, yeah, you gonna have to. We gonna need some novellas because we need to, inquiring minds and kitty cats wants to know. I'm
Because
just,
Nia getting it, child. She getting it. Both ways.
I
Both ways. Like,
I don't know if I should like just love on the book or be jealous than a motherfucker. I
girl.
I'm just
It's
saying.
coming. And then you know you got Ian coming through. Ian comes through just dropping knowledge that ain't nobody know.
Oh my god, that man right there. So what's the deal with him and Miss
Chantel.
Miss Thing?
Listen, I mean you
Be-
see he came in that board meeting like I was a little tied up. Like,
because when he come around, she like, oh, girly girly.
and she
Any
don't
other
act like that.
any
Like
other
any
time she
other
be ready
time,
to knock the hell out of somebody.
right, she do not act like that around nobody else but him. So that's definitely you're gonna see a lot more of that and you're gonna be kinda surprised about that, the dynamic in that relationship. And
Ma'am.
you know I'm surprised ain't nobody bring up Sarah and the governor and
Okay.
what she did at that party.
Now I am in now this is what I'm gonna say. I am into the scene of BDSM. But to read that part, I was like, ain't that about a bitch? I was like, if she ain't put that on the mark, cause that financial domination,
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing nice. You seen Tally was like, shoot, I might got to get into this business because
right? Give me that
if it's like
money.
that, because she like, before you even call me, I need to have my offering. Like,
Give me
let's
my
go.
money.
Let's go.
Cause
Mm-mm.
my mouth
I
dropped
make
so
you a
quick.
spirit.
I was like, my heart. I was like, that's my bitch. That is my bitch. I
She
love
was
her.
not playing. She
I
was not playing, child.
I loved her. And his bitch ass, the governor bitch ass, was just
Oh shoot, yeah, and how Chantal brother had his wife, girl, had his wife
on the leash.
dead. I don't know where that came from. I don't know.
What the hell? You was in your words with this damn book. Do you hear me? Because I was like, damn. The
Where that came
husband a
from.
punk.
Like,
She a punk. Like, she is submissive. He just. Mm.
he ain't got all that mouth. I stupid self talk. Keep calling that man Kenny. Like, yeah, Kenny. Like,
Child. Child.
I'm like,
Book's good.
man.
When I say that the product of the street is so fucking good. It's very realistic for the simple fact there are situations in that book people can relate to, from
Sure.
the from miscarriages to sexual assault to just having to be a product of the streets and living that life in regards
Mm-hmm.
to, even though I'm a product of the streets, I'm gonna get my ass to college. I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm
Right.
gonna come back into my community and I'm gonna fucking breathe life into it.
Right. Because
And you,
Aslan said that in book one. He's like, you left. I wanted to stay here and build the community, not run from it.
mm,
Like, this ass city, period.
yeah, yeah, and it just, you hardly read. Well, I ain't gonna say you hardly read because there's a lot of books that actually are like this, but you hardly hear about it.
Hmm.
So when I don't hear enough noise about your book, I'm kind of offended. I'm fucking offended. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to get it out there for people to see or experience. I feel like, it's I think book two has gotten out there enough that
Hmm.
people are now going back like, what is this? Like I didn't see book one, so what is this?
Right. Book one, it was book one had so much in it, but so much relatability to it.
Hmm.
Um, from the sisters who are trying to get away from a situation, or not knowing what love really is, so they're running from it.
Right. Right.
Nobody breathing that life into them about love, so they like, this is too much. I got to go.
Hmm.
Uh,
Like, they just they didn't know what it was. Like even though you had a relationship, like Rodney he ain't care about her like that. Like to Rodney, she was almost like just a possession. And that's what
exactly.
she equated love to. So when she would go and she would, mess with these other men, she just equated that's what love is. Like, okay, they want me.
Right.
And that's why I was like, yo, I ain't these other niggas. I'm not these other niggas. Like,
And I
no.
love, how these men was like, look, I'm gonna love on you, but let's let go of that bullshit.
Hmm.
Let go of
Like
that.
they legit would sit down and have conversations with you, like how Henny did Tally at when they was eating dinner. Like, nah, we gonna talk about this. Like, you still think this is a game? Like, what are you talking about? Like, let's talk about this. Ain't no shutting down. Ain't no running out the door.
So how was it with you trying to make? Because this is definitely black love. This is some black love,
Mhm.
hood love. You know what I'm saying? And with the paranormal romance part of it with Brothers That Bite, still, it's, to me, was hood love. Regardless of how you look at it, it's just a paranormal
Mhm.
aspect to it. But how do you make it so that you express it in a sense that you could just feel that love? What was going through your mind writing all that about Mike and Quinn and how, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
With these
Um,
women, and also keeping them able to be themselves, as have their own personalities.
I think it was more so how I would want to be treated.
Mm,
Like, how would I want, you know, a man to treat me, or how, how I get treated.
right.
Like, this is how I get treated. Women should be treated like this. Like, you might not have to be nobody possession or
Mm-hmm.
obsession, but you value them. You value their time. You value everything there is about them that you gonna sit there and listen to them, even if you can't be with them. I'm gonna be your friend.
Girl, you
I'm gonna
got
listen
me
to
in
you.
here to pour a drink. Damn.
Right. Like you just like I'm gonna listen to you because Oz did do that. Like the only time he really stepped in was when because he knew these men was trash
Right.
and they would do some crazy junk. That was the only time
Right.
he stepped in, but he never stopped her from dealing with nobody else because to him was like you need to learn on your own. Like you need to grow in yourself. And they did accomplished a lot within those
Mm-hmm.
6 years. You know, they got their degrees, they got their job, they was doing what they loved, and even though the men could take care of them financially, they never once said you don't need to work
Mm.
or quit your job and stay. Like they ain't never say that. Like
And
what Tally need to be at the hospital for? But
that
that's what she
part.
loves. That's what she loves to do. That's what she wants to do.
Now, when he said that one thing about the women's clinic about her,
Hmm.
I wanted to cry. I was like, wow, a man can give you many things, but when a man gives you something as precious as he gave her, and it was like, I know what you need, so I'm gonna give you that
Hmm.
because this is gonna pour life into you.
Right.
That right there,
Yep. And like,
I was like,
and
wow.
that's what he meant. Like, come on now. This is what you wanted. Like, I know this is what you need. I read your thesis paper. Like, what you mean you read my thesis paper?
Uh,
Like,
the book is Product of the Street. Where I'm talking about Product of the Street 1 and 2. So please go get those books because oh my god, y'all, the discussion, ma'am, we could have a fucking 5 hour discussion on those
probably.
two books. Not to mention Brothers That Bite because there is a lot of stuff going on in those
He,
books.
wait a minute. Blossom, he did give her birth control. He gave it to her, but she didn't take it.
She ain't take it. She ain't take it. She just decided she didn't want to put that in her body.
At the end of the day, now I ain't gonna say, was it a placebo or not? I don't know.
I
I,
did.
I don't know.
I did. Not a placebo.
But you gotta think about, he already knew she wasn't gonna take that because he knew her. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I give you this prescription. And his head is, you ain't putting that in your body.
And she said it. She said, I don't like putting things that are like pharmaceuticals in my body because I know what they do to me and do to the
Hmm.
body. So why would I do that? So I'm just waiting for book 3 because somebody better be having another baby.
Child,
Somebody better
listen.
be knocked up. The way they was already getting into it, somebody better be knocked up.
He said, you not gonna Shandia me. You ain't. And he had the nerve to be like, I already know your cycle. But in his head, like, I already know your cycle schedule, so it is what it
Ain't
is.
that some shit? I'm a doctor, so I'm already on it. I'm already on it.
Like, not you keeping track. Like,
But
cause my
no.
she been living with him for months. So,
What about Oz and the model escort that came thinking
mm,
she was running shit?
Zanaya,
She thought she was really she. You're the help.
she,
Move out the
re-
way. Let me and Oz
she
get to.
really big. He
She
wasn't, he didn't pay her no kind of mind. He stood up like, and Dia over there, like, in her head is like, she lucky I'm pregnant. She lucky I'm pregnant. Because, Dia will throw some hands. Because she was throwing hands in the club to begin with.
man.
And she would have probably took Catrice out that night if eyes ain't coming to that room, into that stall.
The way they was thumping that girl. The way they was thumping her crescent out. The way they was thumping her. I was like, these are the type of friends I need in my life.
Yo, because Crescent was on 10. She was ready. She was like, yeah, yeah, let's
Because when
go.
I get down with the get down, I need you to have my back. You know what I'm
All right,
saying? That's
right.
why I love, love, love the relationship you have built. No, when Dia called Crescent her sister,
Hmm.
and how it just uplifted that girl so much. It was
Yeah,
just
I think she probably would have finally said something about the whole Roman situation, at
mhm.
least to them,
Yeah.
if that shooting and everything didn't happen.
I
Because
wish
like
I wish she would have. I wish she would have.
because she was breaking down, because Tally had her breaking down when they
Mm.
was in the hospital. She like, you, what's going on with you? Like, for real. Like, we need to have a conversation because something's up, and I need to know what it is. And like, I feel like it was coming. and then life life happens because you knew he was coming back around. I don't know if y'all thought John was gonna make it to the next book, but
So y'all did.
y'all gone, baby.
You know this whole time. The way you wrote that shit, see, I'm not fucking with you no more. Cause the way you wrote that shit, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this nigga is still alive.
He died when at like close to the end, like at the end when he grabbed up Tally, and Fax came in there and he
But the way Facts dumbass trying to shoot a dead body, his dumbass.
yeah,
I ain't gonna empty a clip in a dead body. Like,
girl, he was hot. He was hot, girl. He was hot.
yes, Ja had to go. He had to go. It's a couple of
Yeah.
people that got to go, but I'm just like, why they still alive?
hmm Just like Ja had to go, Yasmin, she had to go. I mean, honestly, Catrice need to go, but they using her.
I'm so ready for that bitch to be dead. I'm so.
They using her.
I think your books is bringing out the most violent streak of me because I'm sitting here like, she gotta die, he gotta die, he gotta die. Oh, is he gonna chop him up? He gotta
If
die.
he getting chopped up, he getting blown up. Somebody house getting ready to blow up. Like
Right. Like, fuck her mama. Fuck her.
somebody getting ready to get strangled because they already waterboarded. Link waterboarded Hayes. Like
That shit was funny as hell. He was like, oh shit, I forgot he was underwater. Like, what the fuck?
yo,
Like, you.
Link's wild. Link wild. He was wild for that. Like, oh yeah, dang.
Like, damn,
Mm,
this nigga is dead. This, these books are so fucking good. Now, the only books I have not read is Dreamwalker. Please tell me more about it because it's on my TBR. I haven't got to it yet, but I am
girl.
gonna read it.
So Dreamwalker takes place in Baltimore, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a pre-apocalyptic type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's before, it's like at the start of when the zombies start coming.
Okay.
So they're not like the Walking Dead
Mm.
type zombies where they just slow and mindless. Like you got some of them that are like that, but you got other ones that can think.
Mm.
And you have the main characters, Kaylee. You have Kaylee, Deuce, Finn, Tristan, and then like the rest of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaylee is kind of like the main character
Mm-hmm.
um, that it's based on with Dreamwalker, because that's kind of what they call her. So it's like she saw these visions of it happening,
Oh wow.
and she woke up and she's like, "Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Let me um let me run this back real quick." Like,
Mm.
'cause her two close friends, Finn and Deuce, they all grew up together. So they know about these visions, but she didn't have them like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it wasn't something that was like a constant thing. It just would happen at times. So when it happened, she's like, yo, we really got to get out of here. Like, this is legit. Like, douche, you right or whatever. And so they start trying to put together a plan to get out of the city, but it was too late. Like, stuff just started happening, and she kind of got pushed together with all these other people. You know how, like, in apocalyptic series where just random people end up coming together because either you save somebody, you run into somebody. So that was happening. All Kaylee really cared about was her two friends,
Mm-hmm.
Finn and Deuce. Like, no, I need to get my peoples, because she wasn't just no regular type of chick. Like, she was a bouncer at a strip club. She know her guns. She know how to fight. Like she wanted to eventually open her own mixed martial arts studio. So she's that like
So is this a zombie version of Product of the Streets? Because that's what the fuck this is.
child, it's not the same at all. But she was wild. Like she's just like, nah, we need to handle this or whatever. Get out of here. So it's basically the telling from her point of view, Deuce's point of view, Finn's and Tristan's point of view of what is happening at the time where all this stuff started. Because her, Deuce, and Finn already know what's going down. So
Mm-hmm.
they trying to go before it actually goes down.
Right,
And
right.
it didn't turn out that way.
Huh.
And then it just goes on from there. Like it's wild. And them zombies, listen, you might be hearing them at night, child, in your head.
Oh hell nah. I'm I'm gonna read it next week because there's not a lot of black authors that write books about zombies,
It's not.
and which is unfortunate. I mean, I read a little bit of everything from whites to black, but I just love when I get a black author and they're just writing black stories. So it's
Hmm.
very amazing hearing you talk about that because yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read it.
Yeah, girl, go ahead and read that. If
Okay,
you feeling saucy with it, listen to the audiobook, child, guys.
not you got an audio book.
Like the first one in Deadly Secret, I mean not Deadly Secrets, Dreamwalker is on audio. Deadly Secrets 1 through 4 is in audio. And one
Wait
of the
a
how
whoa. Wait a whole goddamn minute. Did you say Deadly Secrets 1 through 4 is
on
I just
audio, and one of the Halloween books is an audio version too. The first Halloween book.
um okay. I'm a yeah. I'm gonna need Product of the Streets on audio.
Listen, I'm trying to make it happen, okay? Cause
Cause when
that
you do, please send me a be like Black Girl Tie. It's on audio. See how fast I download that shit. See how fast I buy that
I
shit.
really do. I need that on audio because it just
Because I need to know who's gonna be fucking odds and facts. Kenny, he gotta be smooth too. But I did those two. I need to know. I need to
hmm
know. See, you just done blew my fucking mind.
Yep.
Oh my god. So I'm finna do a little speed round with you.
Okay.
You ready? If you could write on any genre that you never wrote in before, what would it be and why?
Um, Probably high fantasy because I like stuff like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And it would let me write a long story with multiple parts. Like when I say long, I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds of pages, over like 600 plus pages. And I wouldn't feel too bad with a ton of characters because in those type of stories, I mean, look at Harry Potter. There
Mm,
are a ton of characters with a ton of backstory. And you can like delve into just so many different type of creatures and lifestyles.
mm.
It's just like the sky's the limit. So I would definitely write high fantasy. It's just time consuming. That's the thing.
I'm gonna say this before I get to the next one. High fantasy, I like it, but I don't have the mental capacity or the fucking thesaurus or the dictionary to fucking deal with all the maps, quests, and missions that
Yes,
these
and that
motherfuckers
it's a
go on.
lot. Listen, I said what you asked me what I would. Am I? No. Mm-mm. I'll read it.
Okay, who's any author, even yourself? Who is your book bay and why?
Mm. Mike.
Mike? Brothers that bite. Mike. I thought you was gonna say Oz. God damn. Maybe that's
Mm-mm.
just my crazy ass.
Because because Mike could actually be all of them
Mm.
if you think about it.
Ooh. Okay, okay, okay. Okay.
'Cause I mean, I'll put it to you like this. You see how he be cool, calm, and collected, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened when Taria got kidnapped?
Boy, that nigga lost his ever loving sense of fucking self. He became the true vampire king. Okay, worst trope.
Um, second chance romance. Yeah, I just can't. I just, I
Oh my
just.
god, why? Why second chance?
I'm like, you going backwards? Like, shut up, Blossom. I better say Mike, whatever. Um, that and which I can't even think of the name of this daggone trope, but it's like not enemies to lovers because I actually like that. I actually like enemies to lovers, but it's like I can't even think of how to even explain it. What's the name of this freaking trope? I don't know. I had to come back to that. I had to come back
Okay,
to that, but
best trope.
definitely second chance. I can't. You should have made it work. You should have made it work. What you do, you know why second chance? Because I get so tired of the back and forth.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with that. I like some second chances. I do. Will I do it in real life? Hell nah, nigga, you'll be at the curb.
See,
But, I like reading about it. No. I'm just, I'm just saying. I read about it in real life. No, nigga. You gonna get kicked to the curb or a fucking shot. One of the two.
listen, I can't do it. I cannot do it.
I'm just saying.
That and like, no, mm-mm.
Okay, what's your best tropes? What are the ones that you just love, adore, can't get enough of?
Mm, right now, I'm kind of stuck on the whole like mafia slash gang, like that whole trope, like. Because
I
I'm with it. I'm with it for all the obsession, possession type. Like I'm with it.
I told
I'm
you
with
we
it right
all
now.
need to see therapists. We all
Didn't Henny order that already? Didn't he say we all need to sit down and talk to somebody?
look here. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I go to my therapist and I tell her about my book boyfriends, and she looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. But I pay you to do what you do, so you do what you do. You gonna listen to this shit.
You gonna listen to it? I know she probably like, let me write these books down because
If
I need
anything,
to
she
know
talking
what she
about,
I need to know what she talking about. That's what she writing down. She over there typing like, let me jot
girl.
this note down.
I don't know if she writing the books down or she writing me a prescription because she be looking at me like, oh my god. Okay, what's next for you, and how can readers stay informed about your book?
So what's next? So of course, Prodigal of the Street 3. The next zombie book, 4,
Mm-hmm.
and Shades of Passion book 2.
Oh Lord, because you did leave that on a cliffhanger. You was the cliffhanger queen. Yeah.
Listen, I love me a good cliffhanger. Like even with Prodigal of the Street, it was still a little cliffhanger on the second one, but I didn't want to leave it with like a huge one like I did the first book.
had me punching the air. Like, no, she didn't. Not again. She done got
But
me
see, with
again.
Deadly Secrets, it's always going to be a cliffhanger because there's a major plot. So
Yeah.
it's always going to be something. But from a story standpoint, um, it always closes. Like whatever's happening within that story, like that little subplot always ends, and you're just like, mm. But you still left the door open for some bullshit.
When I
Yes,
get
I
to
know,
the end,
Tacola. The zombies is left on a major cliffhanger, and I'm gonna write the book.
when I get to the end of your books, this is I have. You know what I be playing? Bruno Mars. This bitch. I be mad as hell. Cause I swear to you, if you could have
Look,
saw my face on Product of the Street 1, you would have been like, oh, she mad, mad. She mad, mad. And then on Product of the Street 2, oh, damn. She really pissed off. And same with Brothers That Bite. I was sitting there like this. Now, why she gonna, how she gonna,
but see, at least you came at the time where it was a whole bunch of books, so
that's true.
you could just keep on going. Like,
But but I'm so caught up now that, now I'm back at that. What the fuck? I'm
wait, you
back
did them all?
there.
You did them all? You even did all the novellas?
I went through everything. I read when I said I read everything. Look, when you sent me that list, you thought I was playing? I went through everything. So when I got to the Shades of Passion, I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. We are on a cliffhanger
Listen.
again.
And it's a lot. It's a lot of books. It's over 20 something books
But
in
it
that
was
series.
so interesting. It was so interesting. The paranormal books that you wrote were that serious, and I don't like series like that. It was so interesting. I had to keep going because I needed to know what the fuck was going on. You have so many
Hmm.
characters, and you write their stories. So I want to know
And then
what
you
this
got the
character,
parents. You got the parents going on,
dumb motherfuckers there.
oh my God, and like, oh, that's how that happened, and that's what this is, and that's who she's sleeping with. Like,
But
yeah.
that's the thing. Like she said, with so much information and still a lot to be answered. But you write it so well that I'm not at a point where I'm just like, this is a whole lot of shit going on. I don't know what's going on. It's a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot of shit going on, and I'm getting so many points of views that I understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it all makes sense. The Brothers That Bite series makes sense, especially if you read it in order. It
Mm-hmm.
makes so much sense. From them going down to Louisiana to
Mm-hmm.
them what's her name finding out she got powers, those parents, and how they block their powers and all that. It all makes sense when you read it all
All
it,
together, and like
together.
you figure out, like, oh my gosh, so this is what you are, like, cause Taria didn't know what she was.
Exactly.
And her power was blocked. Mike ain't know what she was.
Exactly.
And once she was turned, all that stuff just started unlocking, like snap, snap, snap. Even with Toya, it was like it was just broken.
Right.
And that's when everything just
But it all came together. So your writing style, even though there's a lot going on, it all comes together. And
like,
for the life of me, you are good. You are
thank you.
good because I've seen authors that try to do that, and it's a hot mess. And I'm all over the place. So what the fuck? I'm confused. Because if you wrote it and confused, I'm confused.
Listen, some people still say they're confused, just like some people said they was confused with Product of the Street, and I was just like, listen, this is less confusing than my paranormal books.
I was not confused. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I was not confused. I got it. I literally got it. Like it was. I like stories that have stories within the story.
Hmm. And I mean, it's not a bad thing. Some people just not like that. So I try to
Mm,
make it clear, like especially in interviews or if I'm doing a live, I try to make it clear to people, like, listen, I don't write just one simple plot. It's never you're never gonna get a book from me that's just gonna have just a simple plot. It's always gonna be a plot within a plot because it's gonna be an overall greater plot.
exactly.
So if you can't keep up with that or you don't like stuff like that, you don't have
Mm,
to read it. Like, and that's why I did put that disclaimer in the book along with the trigger warning.
mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is gonna be like a 5 book series. If you're expecting a happily ever after each book, at the ending, don't look for that. Not with me, it's always gonna show a progression to the next book.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I wanted to read that book so bad. I said, "Fuck them trigger warnings," and kept going. I saw the page. I really did. I swear to God,
You
I saw the
seen that,
page.
please read. You saw that, please read.
I saw it, but I ain't giving no fucks. I was on a mission. I ain't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I read book one. I don't give
I
a
was
shit
gonna say,
about.
but see, you read book one, so you already kind of knew what to
Right.
expect. So to
Right.
me, it was people coming in that haven't read book one, and I'm like, listen, that's why I was putting it out there, and even doing promo. Like, listen, this is what you're gonna expect. If you can't handle that, you don't have to read it. It's not gonna, hurt me or anything like that. I'd rather for you not to read something that you're not gonna enjoy.
And
Like,
that's cool for y'all, but for me, for this heifer right here, I ain't getting no fuck about no trigger warning. I
but
went
she
straight
said
into the
those
story.
books triggered the freak in me. Listen.
Girl, girl, the freak. Hell, I thought I was Pinky for a minute. Shit. I was like, damn. I felt like Pinky up in this bitch.
It had you thinking. You were sitting there thinking like, "Dad, can I do that?
Like,
Let me,
Pornhub, call me.
let me look this up real quick." That's why I put the definitions in the book so you know what it is. And so if you get to that word and you looking at it like, "What is this?" It's right there.
I totally blame you for my delulu-ness.
The
Got me
delusion,
on
child.
got me on this is so sad. Got me on TikTok seeing one of them thirst trap ass dudes. And I'm like, ooh, that's facts.
That's the one.
Ooh, that's eyes. Ooh, that's Henny. Ooh, that's Link.
Let's be,
Ooh,
let's
that's
be
Sanchez.
all day. Let's be all day.
That is me. Now let me go out, and if I go out these doors and I see somebody that look, I'm gonna get arrested. Cause I blame you.
Child. And they out here too. They out here.
I
They
blame
might
you.
not act like them, but looks wise, child.
Cause
Mm-mm.
that one dude that was like the little Afro Latino dude with the braids, and he was, I was like, I don't know if that's
Hmm.
Sanchez or facts, but oh my god, like let me go follow this dude. I'ma stalk him online.
Look, look, cause what's the name? The dude, hey, what's his name? He be on IG all the time with the dreads. Is like is the link. Um, Mr. Hello.
See, you gonna have me stalking somebody else.
Look, she get ready. Look it up.
You
Wait till
about
you look it up. Wait till you look it up. Just look it up. Oh, let me wait, cause I gotta see your face on this one.
and what's his name, Mister Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me
You see,
see.
Tasha, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Tell me that ain't Link.
Wait a minute. Let me. Wow.
Tell me.
Hello.
Tell me that ain't him. On
Well,
IG. You got to go on IG, Chris.
let me go follow him. Everybody need to follow. Everybody need to follow.
Child,
Hey,
listen.
yeah, damn.
Well, Chris said, one sec. Listen.
Not him biting his lip in the. I'm dead. See, see, and I still blame you for my deluluness.
Listen. I blame myself because I'm just like, because listen, so after I finished the book,
Mm,
I had, I was like, okay, so let me read this from the beginning. Because when you're writing it, you're reading it, but it's not all together.
mm,
Like it's not the finished product. So after I got it back from editing and all that kind of stuff, I'm
mm.
listening to it, reading from, and I say, yo, what the hell was I thinking? Especially every time it get to that gag me part, I lose it.
Yo, how
I
the
lose
hell
it.
did you even come up? Gag for me?
I
Gag for
lose
me?
it. And then he'd be like sensational. And I'd be like, and I die every single time. Like, why did I write this?
This is okay. We're gonna pretend like this is my Kindle. Sensational.
And you can
That
hear the voice in your head, right?
right.
You,
I hear it because he is up and down my Facebook FYP. Like all I kept
you
hearing.
hear it in your head. Girl, listen, I'll be like, what is wrong with me? Even the part when Oz was like, oh no, nah, you ain't going home. You about to join my lesson. And had did in the underground myth, teaching a lesson. Like he's
Man,
teaching a lesson.
let
Other
me tell you
don'ts.
something. If ever a man get mad at me that I'm fucking with,
Hey, Jackie.
and he says, "I'm gonna teach you," I ain't finna argue with you, and he yoke my ass up, and then he fucking have me screaming Mariah Carey notes, I'll be happy with life. And then afterwards, I'll be like, "What you want to eat, nigga?"
Cooking. You
What,
see Dad be in the kitchen all the time, child. You see Tally ass had a whole cake made. She like, listen, I can't cook, but I sure can bake.
man. So
Product of the street.
tell everybody where they can find your books. Tell them where about your newsletter and Facebook group.
So you can find all my books on Amazon. Product of the Street is on Amazon and available right now. They are both on Kindle Unlimited. You can also purchase my paperbacks or anything like that at my website is ebowserbooks.com. Um, and while you're there, you can go ahead and just subscribe to the site, which will put you on my newsletter, and you'll get updates on what books coming out. I might even do a special where you get, only the people that's on the newsletter list will be able to read like the first chapter in an upcoming book and stuff like that. You can also join. I have two groups on Facebook. One is for Deadly Secrets. It's called Sinful Secrets. And that is everything Deadly Secrets in that group. And I do games before release day,
Mm.
or probably like a week before release or something like that. Where you can either win books, I give out bonuses. You might get like a book box or something like that of like a hardcover or paperback or like a book that I don't have for sale, which is books one and two and Rescue by Fire all in one book. So it's like, I don't know, 680-page book, hardcover.
Mm.
Um, so you'll get to see things like that in that group. And then Product of the Street, I made that group when I released the first book.
And that's the name
And
of it, Product of the
and that's
Street.
the name of it, Product of the Street book group. and I'm just basically getting that started. So in there, if you go in there into that group, you'll see pictures of what everybody look like. And Sanchez is in there, child.
As soon as I'm off this damn live, I'm gonna join this motherfucking group because you you
Sanchez is in there.
you made some men that I don't know what everybody else dream about, but shit, that's the type of motherfuckers I want.
That's what I'm saying. Listen,
They
I
match
ain't
my
kidding.
gangster.
And they gangster with it, like with it. And you wouldn't think so. I mean, 'cause their whole personalities just switch up. Like when Henny is Henny and when he Hendrix.
Yeah. Now you did that real smooth, like with Hendrix and Oz, how their personalities like uh light switch changed.
Hmm.
You did that real smooth because when they're with their women, they're who they are. But when you piss them off, it's a whole
Hmm.
nother motherfucker.
'Cause you see when Dia was like, "Listen, eyes," and he was like, "Oh, that's who you want me to be right now." Like, nah, you call me Lennox because I don't think you want me to be eyes at this point. 'Cause like, and like even Crescent seen it. Like she seen the switch with Henny and Hendrix, and that's why she's like, "Oh, that's why he said, nah, this is Henny." Because
Hmm.
like his whole personality switches, and you can kind of see that when he's going into the hospital and how
Hmm.
he changes, like the grills is gone. And he puts on
Yeah.
these glasses. He puts on these glasses. He don't even need glasses, child.
And this is making me really look at doctors real funny, like right now. Like I'm looking at my physician like, now I see you wearing them glasses, but do you
Hmm.
really wear them glasses?
You really need them glasses. Do you wear grills when you're not here?
And it just so happened that my doctor is dark skinned, thicker than a snicker, not married, and he wear glasses, and I'm just in there.
Like, I just read this book. You really wear them glasses? Like, 'cause you see the transition. He puts on the suit, he puts on the tie, takes the grills out, he slips on his glasses, and then
That's
he
some.
walks out like,
Did you intend it to make them like the Superman complex type deal?
I did not intend to make Henny like, and who called him that? Crescent? Like, you over here looking like Superman or something she said. But no, I didn't intend for it to be like that. That's just like when I'm writing, that's how he came out. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I do every day on a daily. This is me. Like if I have to go to the clinic first or if I'm
Mm-hmm.
handling street business when I'm coming into work, this is what I do. And I want
Mm-hmm.
them to see this. So I'm writing like, okay, this is what he does. And this is how he transitions into Dr. Sexy.
Mm. Did you talk about the beginning of part one at the house when they first met up? They
We
freaky
didn't, you
asses.
know what? We didn't, did we?
These are. Let me just say, my introduction into Product of the Street was these freaky motherfuckers in this damn house.
Cause wait a minute, wait, cause I hit you up like, hey, you want to read this book? It's my first book.
These freaky motherfuckers.
I don't think I gave you no warning, no
Nothing.
nothing.
Nothing. I dove here first. And I'm like, shit, Brother said bite was that bitch. Man, that was that book. I get to Product of the Street. I'm like, oh my soul snatch.
Like,
Let
cause
me.
he said, sit on my face until you scream platinum. Mind you, she ain't never said. And then he had the nerve to put that on the license plate. Petty.
As hell. I just knew from, like I said, Product of the Street 1 was, whew, Lord.
She said, where do they live? Listen, if I knew, trust, they probably would have a line at the freaking gate.
Right. Because When Monique say, "My turn, my turn, my turn," my turn.
Right. Because people was like, listen, I ain't even know that I like exhibitionism or voyeurism. Like, I ain't even know.
I
They
could,
have no compunction with it. They didn't care. And they never overstepped their boundaries.
but they were like, ain't
He
no
is petty,
fun if the
Tasha. You know he
homies
petty.
can't have none. They was about sharing. Sharing is caring.
Hmm. They
but
was
when
like,
they
nah, you can look. Go ahead, look.
but
Look.
when they fell in love,
That was a different story because they was all with it. Because mind you, in the beginning, in the first book, because you know, Fax was there because he was with John,
mm-hmm.
and he normally partakes in the festivities, and he was just like, oh nah, he don't. He look a little possessive. Like, nah, I'm cool. I'm
Right,
cool with it.
right. Cause I swear, cause Ox and fucking Henny are some lunatics. They may not have been diagnosed, but I'm gonna tell you, I may have chose not to go to medical school, but I'm gonna tell you right now, them niggas crazy.
You heard Hetty. He was like, I mean, we wasn't diagnosed, but in my professional opinion, we all are psychopaths. Like, yeah, we're crazy. Jai's a sociopath, and so was X. Like, he was
Yeah,
a sociopath. Like, they weren't like methodical.
right.
They just did stuff, just like and didn't. They had no feelings. Like Oz and all the rest of them had like that grounding, and they thought they planned it out, which actually makes them more dangerous. But
But also, what made you make Ja the way he was? Because in the beginning, you could tell that the bitch assness was in him. But
I did that because it's always that one,
mm,
out of that friendship, and they've been friends for a long time,
mm,
and it kind of showed. Henny knew that he was kind of like that petty, whatever, whatever. But that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never did no grimy ish to me,
mm.
so that's my brother. I'm gonna look out for him. But it's always that one that wants more than everybody else.
Now,
And
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
like to me, yeah, Henny kind of had this master plan, but they all were on top. It was like Ja wanted to be on top by himself.
Mm. Do you think that with everything that happened and went down with Ja, it kind of hardened Henny more? Because Henny was more of an easygoing, laid back type person in the beginning. And then with everything that happened with his brother, Ja, and all that betrayal and death, do you think that
Hmm.
hardened him to where he just said, I don't give a fuck about a motherfucker?
Yeah, because he kind of like he was clearly crazy,
Yeah,
clearly.
yeah, yeah.
But he was still like he told Tally, he was like, in the beginning, I was just about wanting to do the right thing. Like, yeah, I'll take care of business here and there, but it might not have been as bad if his brother was still around. Because,
Mm,
he already lost his parents. It's not like, his parents were still there or anything like that.
right.
Or, you know, he lost his parents, so all he had was his brother.
Yeah.
And once you took that away, it was just like, I don't give a fuck about nothing else, whatever. And then Tally was gone. So it was kind of like, let me harden myself so I can get this done because this shit ain't going down in my city.
So, with everything that's transpiring with your cliffhanger self, um, when does Product of the Street 3 come out?
October 12th. That's when
It,
I have the date. Like, it's a tentative date because it possibly could come out earlier, but I didn't want to like overextend myself.
mhm.
Um,
And is it
so
available
October
for
12th.
pre order?
It is available for pre-order. Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, and what about what's the next? When was the next book of the Shades of Passion come out?
I'm looking at December. I don't know a date yet, but I'm looking at December for that and probably November for the zombie series. So that'll be book 4 in the zombie series. Because it's 3 books. Well, it's 4 books in there right now. One of them is a novella.
Okay, and could you give everybody your social media handles?
Um, what is it for TikTok? TikTok is E Bowser author. IG is E. Books. And on Facebook, it's E. Bowser. I don't have a Twitter. I got rid of my Twitter handle, so
I don't think nobody on Twitter anymore. I think everybody on
mm-mm.
Threads.
Yeah, I went on Threads, and I don't even know my name on there. It's probably E. Bowser Books if you if you go on there, because I just transfer everything from IG over there. So
So it was so great talking to you. I
it
finally
was
got to
great,
talk to you.
girl. Listen, I'll probably come back around after book 3 come out.
I probably be talking about something. We need to talk.
And you know what? You probably will. You probably will be like, listen, you sure about this? Because I like it. And I'll
The you know I'll come in your DM real quick. Like I don't even care. Hey, if it's a book that I like, I'm on it. But
Child,
I'm so
I'm
happy you
ready.
came on, and I hope since I'm doing this with Shannon, I don't know if she's still on. We're doing a
I
book
think she
tour.
are, but you're doing that book tour. I saw it. Like, I hope y'all come over this way sometime.
Where you going? Where you at?
I'm in Maryland. Yeah, Shannon there. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. You in Maryland? Shannon, we're gonna talk after this. Um, but I hope to see you on one of those tours because, uh, yeah, because I want a signed copy, and I want to sit up there in your face, fangirling, and like, shit, hell,
Listen.